future. The future in the 1982 movie Blade Runner. The movie featured 4 bonsai trees. This is my story of creating a Blade Runner style replicant. My main focus in part 3 of this video will be to get this tree underway as a bonsai, as a traditional Japanese bonsai, like you would see in the 1982 movie Blade Runner. The main focus of today will be to repot the tree, but I will be doing some styling also, so I've got to pick a front, get the structure established, and get the tree repotted. Before I pick a front for the tree, I have one branch that it comes from this long trunk and back behind here, and then it curves back in on itself. And it kind of covers up this section of the trunk. So I can't really see the trunk line from this angle. So I don't want this branch curling back on itself. I did think about, trying to fuse it together with the trunk to try and get an apex up here, but I don't think I'm going to go that approach. If I get a cutting, I may try a cutting up here, but I don't know. That'll be for the future. So I think I'm going to cut that branch off, and that'll allow me to look at the trunk and get the best front for the tree. It's a big step, but here I go. Where I'm going to remove this branch, I have 3 branches coming out from one spot here. I hope you can see that. There's one here, one going vertical, and the one I'm going to remove. So here I go. Let's do it. There is some nice small foliage growing in down here, so the tree is vigorous. Okay, here I go. I'm going to remove this. Try and get a nice flush cut. There we go. With that branch removed, I can see the trunk line a lot more clearly now. And you can see the long trunk line going back. So now I have to pick a front for the tree. So there's a lot of choices. There's this view, possibly something in this direction, which is still hidden by foliage here, but I will have to thin some of this foliage out. It's all growing vertical and this tree's way out of shape. So here's my thoughts on this tree. There is no perfect trunk line for the front of it. Everything's kind of a compromise. The deadwood section comes down and then it's all rotted away in this section. So it kind of ends abruptly. The live vein kind of flattens out in this front view. Yeah, I like this as the front because the main trunk line is coming towards you and then it kind of goes away. I think it has a lot of dimension, 3D dimension to it. It comes forward and back, kind of snakes around. If this were the front of the tree, yeah, that deadwood section ends very abruptly here. I could carve it away, just kind of smoothen it out. But the main trunk line goes back. It goes back in the distance, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's perhaps not the best either. All the foliage would be up front here, which kind of competes with the trunk line. The massive foliage is in front of the trunk, which I don't really like that. I like the foliage to be kind of balanced around the trunk if possible, but so I'm liking this more as the front. I like, you know, because it is all bare here, you can see it. It's not hidden by foliage. I can make an apex here in the distance, kind of behind the main trunk, so I can get that kind of asymmetrical triangle shape to the tree. So here's what I'm thinking, is that because I want to get the tree a little more compact, I may remove this trunk and make this whole section from here on deadwood. There's already a major branch back here that's being cut off, and that's deadwood now. So the only living portion on this end of the branch is this. So I may remove that also, and then concentrate shaping the tree with this back trunk going back. So that's my thoughts. Because we have this deadwood section here, and if I make this deadwood, I carve this deadwood joining these two and possibly down the trunk line a bit. I think it'll fix this area of the trunk, which is a little flat. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I've got to really decide before I remove this, you know, live foliage from the end of this branch, if that's what I really want to do. So I'm going to have a look at it and make my final decision. So I have decided that I am going to remove that foliage at the tip and make the end of the branch deadwood. There's just the one branch here, and I'll leave a deadwood section here, or part of the branch remaining. If I can get in here. There we go. It is done. I could shorten this too. That would make the tree a little more compact, and I think I will. This dead branch is this long. I could make this one maybe just a little longer. So maybe cut it off here. I think I'm going to take it off here. Right here. There we go. So that's making the tree a little more compact, less spreading. And these branches can all be arranged, you know, if I wanted that length, I can do it with this back branch here. I am noticing a little bit of sawdust on the trunk in a few spots. So there could be some kind of a boring insect or something in here. Or ants or something. Has me a little worried. Yeah, right here you can see a little bit of sawdust. Right there. Maybe some up here too. Always worries me. However, I'll give it a spray with soap and water, and that's about all I can do. I've made some major decisions on the tree today. I'm sure there'll be more, sorting all this foliage out. But I think it's time now to get the tree repotted. I've got the tree outside now, and the first step will be to cut all these wires that are holding the tree into the pot. So some of them I might be able to unwind. They're just twisted on each other like that. There we go. And some of them I may have to cut. There's one at the back here. I'm just going to cut these. They're all hooked around each other and tangled. This one goes through this root here, or underneath this root. The wire's dug into the tree a little bit, but not too bad. I think that'll fix itself. Cut this one. What else is holding it in? That's about it. So I've just got to get this wire out from underneath this root here. So if I can cut that, There we go. And I can pull that out. There, so all the hold down wires seem to be clear. Let's see. Yeah, the tree's definitely loose in the pot. I may have to go underneath now. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm ready. Everything's clear there. There we go. It's out of the pot. And I'll see if I can get these wires out. There we go. There's one of them. There's the second one. There we go. There's number 3. There it goes. Finally, all the wire has been removed from the root base. There is one major surface root that really bothers me, and it's this one. It comes out of the trunk and curls around and disappears into the root base somehow. So I am going to remove that. I just couldn't have that on my root base. So I'll try cutting it off flush here and see how it goes. Like that. And we'll try and dig it out. Okay, next step is to start combing out the root base. So again, I'll start from the center of the tree and comb outwards. Now there's a lot of rotted roots like this one. It's just gonna have to be cut off. Yeah, that one's not even alive. There's a crossing root here that's got to be removed. So I'll start combing now. And we'll see what kind of roots this tree has. It's got a nice fine fibrous root system, that's for sure, but there's a lot of roots that are, you know, not going in a nice direction and wrapped around the base. There's a lot of old soil in here that's holding water, that's kind of rotting out some of the roots at the base of this tree. So I think this tree's really going to like getting some good bonsai soil. There's a few really knotted roots here. I'm going to remove those, so I don't like them sticking up on the surface there. They're dead anyway. A lot of these surface roots are dead. Might be a struggle to find a good root base on this tree. So I'm just working away one small section of the root base at a time. I'm in no rush. Just doing it carefully. Trying to get these roots combed out. Doing as little damage as possible. So far I'm noticing on this root base, there's a lot of, potting soil in the middle of this root ball that's holding too much moisture around the roots. So it's definitely going to benefit from clearing all that out. The other thing is the roots are all kind of tangled. There's good surface roots, but they kind of go underneath and they're all tangled and just a ball of soil that's holding in a lot of moisture, and then it was surrounded by good bonsai soil. So I think clearing all that out is really going to improve the health of the tree, and then getting that root base to grow out into the new soil is just gonna make the tree grow with tons of vigor. I've got the root base all cleaned out now. There were a lot of dead rotted roots underneath the tree, so I cleaned those out. There's a lot of good live roots. You can tell by the color of the roots. If they're all black, they're usually dead if they're black and soft. But if they have sort of a reddish color to them, they're alive. So I do have some root pruning to do underneath the root base here, so I'll do that now. In order to prevent future problems with the root system, I'm going to get rid of all these roots that are growing in towards the center of the tree, trying to get them to a nice radial root base. pruning any roots that are going straight down. Roots that are crossing can come off. I want a nice flat root base on the bottom, if possible. I want all my roots fanning out from the center of the tree. There's a root that's kind of crossing here. These roots are sort of growing underneath the tree, just shortening those. Now we're kind of seeing the root base here now. There's a root I can remove here. Oh, that's a... what is that? Part of a chopstick, I think. It broke off maybe in the soil, I don't know. Okay, I don't think I can do a whole lot more underneath here. The rest are fanning out pretty good. You know, there's some that aren't going in an ideal direction, but they're not too bad. We'll prune this one back. Yeah, that's not too bad there. So next I'm up top of the tree here, and I'm giving it a final sorting out. Just combing the roots out, seeing if there's any ones that need removing. Just, you know, trying to get as much of that garden soil out of the root base as I can. Get some good bonsai soil in close to the trunk. The junipers always smell good when you're working on them. You get that nice coniferous smell to them. I like that. I've got the root base cleaned up as much as I can for this potting session. I had to go in. There was a lot of roots that were, you know, tangled underneath the tree. I had to go in and pull them out, try and straighten them out. Yeah, it was quite a tangled mess. So I've got all the roots separated, and, you know, there's air spaces between them so I can get fresh bonsai soil in there. Now, a lot of people will tell you should never bare root a juniper. And well, I ask them, well, how are you going to get your roots sorted out if you don't bare root it? You've got to get the root structure sorted out. Otherwise, it'll always be a tangled knot underneath the base of the tree. So I have bare rooted junipers, and they seem to do fine. I think that's more of a myth that you don't bare root junipers. They're no different from any other tree. A lot of rotted roots here. So it is time to get the tree in a pot. The next step for this tree will be to try it out in the pot and see how the roots fit. So let's do that. So this would be the front somewhere here. Roots are a little tight, but it fits okay. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. So yeah, somewhere, you know, somewhere maybe here would be the position in the pot, I think. I've got my drainage screen fitted to the bottom of the pot, so I'll add a base layer of soil and put the tree on top. I'll build up a mound on the right side of the pot here and then position the tree. All right, here I go with the tree now. We will fit it in the pot here, getting all these roots sorted out. Okay, so I'll need to prop the tree up with something to hold it in place while I look at the composition and see if I like the position in the pot. I'm looking at the position of the tree in the pot now, and I think it needs to be rotated, the main trunk towards me. it's too flat looking. It's parallel to the pot. So yeah, I'm going to rotate it around a bit. Yeah, I like that better. It sticks forward a little more. It comes towards the viewer a little more. I think it has to be angled a bit more. I'm thinking tilting the foliage pads up more. Let me try that. Now, let's see how that looks. Yeah, it makes the tree a little more balanced. Let me try it lower. I'll see if that looks any better. There it is, lower. There's a little baby squirrel. Hello. Hey. There, he's on the tree. So now I have to decide, do I like it sort of cascading down more or having it upright? I think I actually like it, the trunk line in this position better. And then, eventually the foliage will be arranged so it looks quite good, I hope. Yeah, I think that's a good position for the tree. So, I'll check the roots, straighten out any I can in a nice radial pattern, and then I'll start filling it in with bonsai soil. So I'm just arranging the roots, getting them the best I can. I'm not going to cut too much of the roots to get them to fit at this point in time. With the next repotting, I'll refine them even more. This will be just to get the health of the tree back and get some nice roots growing. Yeah, okay, that looks good. I'm going to start filling it in with soil now. I'm just checking the height of the tree in the pot. It's looking good. You can see the surface roots, and they're in the soil, so they should grow well. Yeah, I'm happy with that. In future, I can always raise it up if we get, some nice surface roots developing. But for now, I want to keep them safely in the soil so they grow well. The next step, I'll get the soil worked into the roots. You can see the soil level go down as I work the soil into the roots and the air pockets disappear. I've got the soil worked into the roots, so next I'll get a spoon and I'll just level the soil. Make sure it's tamped down. The soil level looks good. It's just below the lip of the pot, so if I put some moss on, it'll kind of come up to the lip of the pot, which will be really nice. So that's it. I think I'm ready to water the tree. Okay, here I go with the water now. I'll water the tree several times, so I'll probably run, 2 or 3 watering cans through the soil, just to make sure all the dust is flushed out and that all the soil is nice and damp. That, I haven't missed any spots. It's starting to run out the drainage holes now, but I'll keep going. I'll also be watering the top of the tree to keep the needles humid and so they don't dry out while the tree's developing its roots. I'm going to get some stones to place around the base of the tree to hold it stable in the pot until it grows its root system and it can stay upright by itself. I've got a nice big limestone rock that I think will work. I'll try positioning it at the base of the tree. That works, that's holding it in place nicely. I'll probably put one at the back also, just to make sure it doesn't get knocked or anything. I found another granite rock that I think will work nicely, so I'll put that at the back there. There, I think the tree could survive a hurricane now. and not get knocked over. Okay, let's put it in the greenhouse and let's have a look at it. I may have to, I'm not sure about the pot. It's kind of a cascading tree, and maybe it needs a little shorter pot. Maybe if the pot was to here, that length, I think that would look better, but I'm not worried about that for now. Right now I'm just trying to get the roots to grow, get the tree really nice and healthy, and then when that happens, maybe even this year, the next year I can start styling the branches. I don't want to touch the foliage yet. I just want the tree to recover from its repotting. Did a lot of root work to it today, getting rid of all that old garden soil, getting the roots combed out, removing all the rotted roots. So yeah, pretty major operation. Let's have a look at, see what the tree looks like from the back also, which, you know, could be the front someday. There it is, turned around. There's a lot of different ways I could have styled this tree. So there's never any right or wrong, it's just what appeals to you. A different person may have styled this tree in a different way, and it would have looked like a totally different tree, but you know, that's the art behind bonsai, is you're the artist and you style the tree to the way it appeals to you. And that's what I've tried to do today. Try and get, you know, the nicest front and the nicest angles. So I'm happy with it. I think it's taken a big step forward to becoming a nice bonsai tree. There is a chance the tree may not live. I mean, there's always that chance when you do root work and work on the trees, but you know, this is the right time of year and it's in good soil. I'll keep it in the floor of the greenhouse, out of the wind. I'll keep it well watered and, you know, mist the foliage on top. So I'll do everything I can to have this tree live. But again, there's no guarantees. So we'll just have to see in the next update of this tree. That's all today on my Blade Runner replicant tree. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me here today in the Bonsai Zone.